is recognized as an honorable path and an enriching path. And that's why it's really good. Art schools in France, which give the skill sets that you'll be needed to be a good draftsman. But as Thibault said again, at one point, you'll be so good, you can forget the tool, you forget the skill, and you just let yourself go in your creativity. But that's an important point. At Gobelin, we are extremely selective as to who gets into the program. You have to have very good drawing skills. And many of our students have had to take the entrance exam 3 to 5 times before they get in. But once they get in, boy, are they motivated. Again, it's what Thibault said, is that motivation for doing better. And another important part, remember, he hit all my bullet points, Thibault.
I'm so sorry.
Right, on the contrary. Questioning yourself, that's such an important point. What I love about French artists, but it's also about the teachers. At Gobelin, when I arrived to run the animation department about 14 years ago, there was not a single computer in the department except in my office and in my secretary's office. And I'm the person who brought in the digital tools to Gobelin, including 3D technology. And I just spoke with the team. And the great thing about the team, and many of which are still in place, is that every day we question ourselves. Are we doing the right thing to prepare these young talents for the professional world of animation, which is tough? And again, that is also the key to why these schools in France, the certain schools, the ones he mentioned, SANY0004 and Gobelin, do so well. I noticed in the Straits Times just yesterday, it's the headlines. How looking at work-study varsity model. Because the schools, and not all schools in France are this way, they're the ones that Thibault mentioned, that is the case. We are educating students with a close contact with the realities of the professional world. We are preparing future professionals who have a passion for image making and animation, but who will learn the tools that they will then be able to forget. But preparing them for the realities of that professional world, that makes a difference. It's not enough just to be passionate about image making. You've got to be able to make a living from it. So you can do that all your life. So that's also very important. The other thing I want to mention, though, is people talk about French wine a lot. As some of you know, I have a second hat. I write about French wine. France also makes some bad wine. Not all French wine is good, but when it is good, there is, again, that special flair that we're talking about, that unmistakable flavor and delicacy and balance. It's always a question of balance. Sometimes you might want to exaggerate certain points, but at the end, it's going to be that harmony that's going to dominate. And that's what I'm talking about in Hermès as a fashion designer. Or Michel Oslo, the director that he mentioned, who has been the president of our jury in the past. The other point I wanted to make, though, is that I'm going to be the devil's advocate. After praising the French touch, I'm now going to point out the soft underbelly, the Achilles heel. And that, I think, is in storytelling. And I'm going to show you 3 films related to Gobelin, which have their very strong points, visually, but might have a certain weakness.